Welcome to the second episode of Season 2 of the Be Ready Utah PrepCast. I'm Wade Mathews, the Be Ready Utah Manager here at the Division of Emergency Management. And joining me today is Eleanor Divver, the Radon Coordinator for the Utah State Department of Environmental Quality, right?
Correct.
Well, thank you for joining me today.
Well, thank you for having me.
We're here to talk about radon. One of our outreach statistics we like to quote is after lightning, radon causes the most deaths from natural hazards in Utah. Is that correct?
That is correct, yeah. And we also see, if we look at drunk driving, fires in homes, radon is still the number one killer.
Wow, so there's a big, real importance here in talking about this.
Absolutely.
And another reason is January happens to be National Radon Awareness Month.
That is exactly right. And Governor Herbert has signed a proclamation declaring January as National Radon Action Month for the state of Utah as well.
And what are some activities or events that go along with that National Month declaration?
So, we really try to push awareness and get people to test their homes. We find that the best time of year to test is in January and February, December, when it's cold outside and your doors and windows are open less, and then also the ground is frozen, so the radon increases as a result. And so we just do a lot of different awareness campaigns to increase that testing.
And that includes in schools, I understand. Maybe you've got some poster contests or something like that. We might put some of those up on the screen too.
Great poster contests going on with some of the kids throughout the state. We received this year 450 posters, and we had 5 winners and 7 honorable mentions, but the posters are always amazing. The kids do a great job in encouraging families to test their homes for radon.
And the winners are on your website?
They are radon.utah.gov, yeah.
And we'll try and post some of those on our screen here too.
That'd be great.
Congratulations to those winners. What is radon exactly?
So radon is a gas that gets into your home. It's naturally occurring, and it comes from the breakdown of uranium that happens to be in all of our soils, in all of our rocks. It's especially high in some geographical surfaces. Granite rock, it tends to be real high in. We see more radon coming off of granite rock. And think about our canyons. They're full of granite rock, right?
Right.
So it comes from that natural breakdown of the uranium, gets into our homes, then we breathe it in, and then we can suffer those health consequences. And lung cancer is the main health consequence that you would suffer from breathing in radon.
And then that's what causes the fatality from radon, then, is from lung cancer.
Yes.
What are some of the signs, symptoms, things that people should look for as far as the health risks of radon?
So you're not necessarily going to see any signs and symptoms, and that is what is so tricky about radon. It's why we are so encouraging folks. Everyone needs to test their home. If you also go to our website, you can see within your zip code what your levels are. And I saw a new number on our website, and one home in the state of Utah had 485 picocuries. So let me just give you a perspective on what that means. EPA sets anything above 4 picocuries at needing to be mitigated, and I know we're going to talk about that in a moment here. But there was a level of that over 400. That's like smoking 45 packs of cigarettes every day. You know, if we remember seeing the Bart Simpson episode where his dad, who works at a nuclear power plant, is green, he's radioactive, you would become radioactive
at that level.
At that level.
And there's one home in Utah that has shown that level.
Yes.
Wow. Is there any area in Utah that's not susceptible to radon, or can it happen anywhere in Utah?
It can happen anywhere. You know, we don't see as high of levels down in St. George and in the south end of the state. However, that being said, I got a call from someone in St. George saying that they tested their home and they had a 25 picocurie.
Wow.
So that's like smoking 2.5 packs of cigarettes every day.
Uh-huh. Now, as far as the health effects and cancer is the cause of the fatalities, I understand that you have a cancer survivor you've identified the cause was radon for that lung cancer?
So the doctors have, yes, the oncologists have determined that she had lung cancer as a result of exposure to radon. And we have a great video right now about her for National Radon Action Month on our website, the radon.utah.gov.
Telling her story and kind of promoting the need to test, right?
Exactly. So when she tested her home, it came back at 25 picocuries. Wow. And so it was like smoking 2.5 packs of cigarettes. She was 60 when she was diagnosed, and they look back and they know the age of the tumor was about 4.5, 5 years old. And she had done this major remodel and not retested her home, and so they believe that remodel increased the level of radon in the home, and that was how she contracted the lung cancer.
Oh, unfortunate there. Yeah. And that's on your website, that story.
Correct.
Radon.utah.gov.
Exactly.
Okay, awesome. Now, testing. We all want to test. We should all test. How do you do that? How do you go about testing?
It's simple. It's easy and inexpensive. So I'm going to hold up a test kit here. You can go to our website again and click on purchase Radon Test Kit. And that is going to take you to another link. And we have, for Utah residents, you can purchase this test kit for $10.95. And that's going to include everything. It's going to include the test kit. It's going to include the laboratory fee and the postage for you. Now, if you were to go to Lowe's or Home Depot, it's going to be $12 out the door, $35 lab fee, and then shipping as well. So please go to our website and order the test kits from there. And then when you get this and you're going to take it into your home, you're going to put it in the lowest living level of your home. And a bedroom is ideal. We don't want it in a crawl space. We don't want it in a furnace room. We want it in a bedroom. If there are no bedrooms in that basement and you're just using maybe a family room or a living room, something like that, that's where we'd want to put it. We don't want it in bathrooms or kitchens. That's where we'd want to set the test kit.
And how long should that be there? I know there's a couple different, you can put a short-term or a year-long test if necessary. And then how long does it take to get results back?
So with this, you're going to want to leave it there about 3 days. I recommend starting on a Friday and then taking it to the post office on a Monday. Take it directly into the post office because remember, it's time sensitive. Radon has a half-life of 3.8 days. So we want to get it to the post office. We want to get it to the lab right when we collect it and put it in our sensitive envelope. And then they should get the results back to you within about a week.
Okay. And if the results are high enough, we might need to mitigate, as you mentioned earlier. How do we go about that?
So mitigation usually runs about $1,200 to $1,500, and you'll want to make sure you only use a certified mitigator off of our website. Once again, you can find those, and I'm happy to help you navigate that. You'll want to get 3 bids. And we recommend that you find a mitigator that's close to your home and get those 3 bids and then choose who you feel most comfortable with.
$1,200 to $1,500 approximately.
Correct.
Do you know what the process is? Is it venting or?
Yes, so what they're going to do is drill about a 5-inch circular hole in the slab of your foundation, the cement slab of your foundation, and then they're going to go down in there and they're going to try to get any pea gravel, clay, dirt, rocks, whatever is in there, about 2 feet from that hole, around that hole. They're going to pull that out because we want to really get good airflow coming up through that hole. And then they're going to take a PVC pipe and with a fan pull that radon up out of the home. There are really kind of a couple ways. The fan will either be on the outside of the home or in the attic space of the home.
Okay. All right. Anything else you'd like to add for our viewers today?
Just make sure that you test your home. It's the only way to know if you have elevated radon levels in your home. It's a colorless, odorless, tasteless gas that you don't know what levels you have until you test. And it's important to protect and save lives and by testing and then mitigating if you have elevated radon levels.
Absolutely. Again, and the website is radon.utah.gov.
Yeah.
All right, Eleanor, thank you for being here and sharing all this valuable information for us.
Appreciate it.
Life-saving information.
Absolutely.
That's what we're here about at Be Ready Utah and the Department of Environmental Quality as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for watching. That does it for us today. Again, all of our Be Ready Utah PrepCasts are available on our YouTube channel, the Be Ready Utah YouTube channel, and our social media, Facebook and Twitter. Also coming up, speaking of health, we are expanding our Be Ready Utah Expo to Preparedness, Health, and Safety coming up on March 13th and 14th. You can go to the BeReadyUtah.gov website to get tickets there. Again, thanks for watching.
Hey, hope you enjoyed this episode of the Be Ready Utah PrepCast. Like what you're seeing? Have a question about anything related to emergency preparedness? Or do you have a comment about something you've learned as you make a plan or get a kit? We'd love to hear from you. Comment or reply to us on Twitter or Facebook at Be Ready Utah with hashtag BRUPrepCast or in the comments on YouTube. We'll talk about it on one of the next episodes of the Be Ready Utah PrepCast. Don't forget to share these videos and your own adventures in preparedness with your friends, family, neighbors, and coworkers, because anytime is a good time to talk about emergency preparedness. See you next time.